This is Dick Gibson with another installment from Uncle Deke. I have a really nice camera here, a Nikon D7000 that we're going to put in an underwater housing, an Ikelite housing. And I want to show you how this is done step by step. We're going to assume after the first installment that you have your O-rings clean and prepped, and all the surfaces are clean and prepped. Okay, we're ready to put the camera on the back. First I want to show you my 25-cent screwdriver. It's probably not worth 25 cents, but that's what I paid for it. Just perfect for the screw on the back of this, and you want to get that firmly tight. Okay, really important, make sure that the flash sync cord is installed and all the way forward. I always leave the lens opening cover on until I'm ready to put the lens on. That way nothing falls down in there. Okay, it's fairly easy to line up with the screw. Okay, get it started with your fingers and then tighten it down with the 25-cent screwdriver. Not too tight. Okay, now the camera is on the camera back. Then I take the sync cord and I tuck it in behind this adjustment and behind that little thing like that, and I wire and I push this back, and that keeps that from getting any kinks in it and getting in the way from anything. Notice I'm using, for my still pictures, I'm using manual settings on everything. Okay, here it is on the back. All of the controls of the camera are controllable from the back of the camera back, or housing back, and in the water. It makes it a little hard sometimes to do that, but because I'm using manual, it's necessary sometimes to try to use some of these buttons. The camera housing looking in from the back. I just wanted you to see all of the gears and levers and buttons in here. This is how you set the shutter speed. This one changes the zoom on the lens. You can change from manual to autofocus with this one. All these things operate some kind of a button on the camera. Now before we put the camera in the housing, I want to show you these. A couple of desiccant packs. I bought these on eBay for like $10 for like 20 of them, and it's a must. Don't have to get anything fancy. This is kind of like you getting a package of something when you get it in the mail. I put 2 of these in here, end to end, and I use these about 2 days, and I put some new ones in just to make sure. Really important because of the heat difference between the sun on the surface and the cooler ocean can cause condensation, and those will help prevent that. Now we're going to put the camera in the housing. Double check, triple check, quadruple check, make sure that the O-ring is clean. Just sitting around, a piece of lint can fall on it. Double check the surface here, because once you mate these together, that's the way it's going to be. Okay, now it has to kind of go in a little bit like this to clear everything in there. Goes right on in. Make sure it gets in the slot. There are 3 attachments, 3 latches. Get all of those started at the same time, like this. And they snap in tight, and then do the top one, okay? Then go all the way around and check your O-ring. You can see it from the back, you can see it from the top and the front, and if there's any gaps in it, or any sand, or a hair sticking out, or a piece of lint, then you got to take it apart and do it all over again. So now we've got the back on. We're ready to put the lens and the dome port on. Here is the lens I'm going to use for my wide angle shots. It's a Tokina f/2.8 11 to 16. zoom, and Ikelite gives you a ring to let you zoom the lens. Okay, it zooms from the 16 to 11 like that, and you have to put this ring on there. It comes, they give you a little spring-loaded notched ring that goes on and grabs into the notches on the focus ring, and then some little pieces of tape right here to make the ring, this plastic ring, fit tighter. Now I've got the ring back on there. It slides into these grooves. There's one on both sides, and you just push it up and down. Doesn't have to be any particular place right now. The back of the cap off and make sure there's no dust or anything on the lens. If there is, we'll dust that off. We're going to take the cap on the camera off. You find out where your starting point for the lens is and put it in there and turn it until it latches, just like you normally would. The little bit of trickiness is getting this ring down inside to where it fastens into the cogs on the zoom knob. Now you can see where it's zooming the lens. Okay, ready to put the dome port on. I want to show the attachment points for the dome, because once I get the dome on there you can't see them. They're very positive. There are 4 of them. Here, 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 and over here. And when you put the dome on, you just push this forward like that, and this little button snaps into place and it is locked. To get it undone, you have to pull up on this and back. It's not something that's just going to accidentally happen, but it has to be completely indexed. Very important. Here's the dome. This is the large dome. The O-ring is serviced. The surfaces are clean. The lens is clean. The zoom ring is indexed. We put it on. We put it on with that big part of the lens shade at the top, and we just slide it down over there. It fits kind of snug. And then you feel it go in the slot. Give it just a tiny bit of a turn. I'm taking a finger on each hand and pushing opposing locks in. Hear them lock. Then the other 2. Okay. I can feel that they've all indexed in place. If you don't get the ring fastener in right, this piece will be sticking out. So you got to make sure that it's all the way down. That's the biggest mistake that could be made there. And I actually put a little paint in between these 2 pieces, and a little blue paint, and you can see it. So, and actually, look at here. This one right here isn't completely in. How about, there you go. Here it's snap in. Very good.
Okay.
I'm using 2 Ikelite strobes. Uses a Y connector right here. So you have one connection to connect it to the back of the camera. Another O-ring is right in here. I've serviced it, I've cleaned it, I've checked this surface in here, and it's fine, so we're ready to put it back together. This is not a twist-in thing. These little prongs could break real easy. So you figure out which way it goes, and slides right in. Start the threads, then push in on it to get the O-ring engaged in there, and then tighten this down. Doesn't have to be very tight, but snug. So that connects the strobes together. Let me show you this thing I made right here, this handle. I'd like to market this, but after this video it's too late. camera weighs between 22 and 26 pounds, depending on whether I have it set up for strobe or with the double video lights. Have to have some way to carry it. I carry it about 3 blocks to and 3 blocks back from the dive shop and the boat every day, and need some kind of a handle. Also, the captain can hand the camera to me in the water by using this handle, and you really don't have to worry about them grabbing something that they shouldn't be grabbing. Another thing I want to show you is a lanyard I made. I didn't have one that was big enough, so I took an older one and actually a piece of heavy shoelace and made it bigger. Need a lanyard that you can tighten around your wrist easily, and also that's long enough you can reach the controls of the camera. Very important, but you do not want to be unattached to this camera. You guys know how much of an investment this is, and you don't want to drop it because it would go. It is heavy in the water. Actually, the way this is set up right here, it's probably about a pound positive. In the water, I can hold it pretty much like this right here. Set up pretty good. Easy to handle. A lot better than it looks. Now that we have the camera in the housing and the port put on and the flash guns connected, one more really important thing to check is to make sure the camera turns on, the flashes turn on, and that the camera will take a picture and the flashes will flash. So what I do is I turn the camera on up here. I'm going to turn on the viewfinder, the screen in the back, because I always use live view. It's almost impossible to look through the prism in the camera. I don't really know why they even put it on there. Better to have this right here. We've got everything connected, and now we're going to reach over here and take a picture. Okay. And I got a good picture. Everything works. Flashes both went off. The camera worked. Everything is working. So we just shut all that down. We'll be ready to go in the water. Okay, we're ready to go in the water. I'll show you how the handle works. Not light, but in the water, pretty easy to handle. Hope you can see the palm trees. I'm ready to go for a dive. Anybody want to go with me? See ya.